Hello, viewers! Today you'll see me make red yeast rice wine with Angel Rice Leaven. Now, I've made red yeast rice wine a few times before. Please see my other videos. I'm trying to learn how to improve my brewing of this type of rice wine. And this time I'm using this commonly available Chinese packaged product, Angel brand Rice Leaven. My understanding is that this is like these yeast balls that I've used before, but powdered and more consistent. To verify that, I looked at the ingredients. It's rice flour and this kind of mold which produces enzymes. So the Angel Rice Leaven should contain enzymes to convert starch to sugar, but it might not contain yeast. Have to try it and see. So day 0, let's get started. So I'm using 4 kilograms of sweet rice. As always, wash this gently and drain. This takes some time. Repeat washing and draining for about 15 minutes. By the end, the water should be pretty clear. So soak this for quite a while. This time I soaked it for more than 8 hours. And let it drain for 30 minutes. And then it'll be ready to steam. So here are some tips for steaming rice. Use enough water to last the whole time. Water should be boiling before adding the rice. Spread the rice evenly and go all the way to the edge. Poke some holes with a chopstick. And after putting the lid back on, wait for visible steam before starting the timer. And I steam this for 40 minutes. Watch out for the steam, it'll burn you. Be fast or use chopsticks when you're picking it up. Okay, so here's the steamed rice. Spread it out to cool to room temperature. That's going to take more than an hour. Here's my red yeast rice. Now, the English label just says red rice, but look for the Chinese red yeast rice, because red rice is not the same thing as red yeast rice. This red yeast rice has a very strong aroma, stronger than the kind I used before. Here's my Angel Rice Leaven. And I'm adding 1 liter of water, stirring this well and letting this sit for 1 hour while the steamed rice is cooling. And once the rice is cooled, add it in layers to the jar, mixing in the red yeast rice in between the layers. And we're adding 3 liters of water. So that's 4 liters of water in total to match the 4 kilograms of rice. And it's important to mix all of this thoroughly. This jar is just big enough that I can stir the whole thing by hand, get it all mixed in evenly. And place the jar in a cool location with a consistent temperature out of sunlight. So that's my basement. Temperature is going to be between 18 and 20 degrees Celsius in the basement. Listen for bubbles the next day. And I'm not hearing anything. So my plan is to stir once a day for the first 10 days. Now, unfortunately, by the evening, the jar was still absolutely silent. Time to panic. I really don't have the patience to wait. I have to add yeast now. Okay, so here's my emergency yeast, half package of wine yeast and 200 milliliters of water. Wait an hour, and then I'm going to mix that in as best I can. So this is not ideal. It would have been better to include this in the initial portion. So if you don't have bubbles, if you don't hear anything, it's completely silent, you're going to have to add some yeast one way or the other. If you're not getting the natural wild yeast of your environment, then you are going to have to add some yeast from package. There's no way around it. Okay, now next day it is bubbling. So I'm stirring this once a day, and the texture is getting a lot softer. And there's a layer of liquid at the bottom now. You just listen to the texture every time I stir it here. There's more and more liquid on the bottom. And of course I'm hearing it bubbling. Day 6, even more liquid. Day 7, I'm starting to see some rice grains falling to the bottom. Even more on day 8. And by day 9, it's almost uniform. Okay, so I stirred it every day up until day 10. Now I'm not stirring anymore. And it is important to taste it. And it tastes okay. It's a little harsh, but it's in the middle of fermenting. Important thing, it doesn't have any off tastes, and it's not too bitter. So I taste it again on day 21. And as time goes on, you can see more liquid collecting in the upper area. So day 30, time to bottle. So I boil my filter bag. And this filter bag is large enough I can put the whole jar, which is about 8 liters of liquid. Okay, so that just takes some time. Since the jar is large, I can't really pour it out, or maybe at the very end. Okay, a lot of liquid came out already, but I'm going to have to squeeze this. And it wasn't too bad, just take some time. I don't have to get all the liquid out, but I do want to get what I can. So here's the leftovers. It's 1.5 kilograms, which is a little more than I was expecting, but you can use this. You save the least in an airtight container in the fridge, and you can use it to make various kinds of Chinese pork that's red in color and very tasty. Get that bottled. It's a real assembly line. And the color is very striking. Okay, so here are all my bottles. So I got 7.5 liters of liquid out of it, plus I had 1.5 kilograms of the least. So that's quite a output from this brew. So this has a great color. This is going to settle a bit, and I'm going to drink it after it has settled. 3 days later, you can see that the sediments are just on the bottom, and I'm only going to drink the top part. The bottom part is too yeasty. And pour this out. It's okay. And I'm tasting this now, but it'll taste even better, I think, in 6 months or a year. But let's see what it tastes like now. It's time for tasting. This is my red yeast rice wine. My wine is actually quite orange in color and a bit cloudy. And when I smell this wine, it does smell sweet. I also smell the alcohol and has a sort of unusual fruity aroma. A little yeasty and fruity. Okay, so let's taste it. All right, so this is more like what I was looking for. This has the red yeast taste, very distinctive taste of Chinese rice wine. It's sweeter than last time. It's not as bitter. And it seems to have plenty of alcohol. It is a little bit harsh tasting because it's very early, but I'm glad it doesn't have that strange bitterness I had in the previous brew. So I'm happy with this one. Let me know how your brewing is going. Let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching.